Your daily Bitcoin and Litecoin update. Are you getting scared yet? What's up, guys? Crypto Savvy here. I hope everybody's having a fabulous Thursday. We're going to take a look at the charts, starting out with Litecoin, moving on to Bitcoin. Then we're going to take a look at my favorite chart comparison, the Bitcoin daily versus the gold weekly chart, and why I believe we're still headed to 46,000, in my opinion, by the end of the year. Also, I'm going to take a look at the gold chart and show you why I believe we might be in the beginning of a recession in the traditional markets, so it's something to look out for. Definitely stick around to the end to check that out if it sounds interesting to you. Also, there's a free Discord group in the description link below the video. Definitely check that out. If you love crypto, you'll love that community. It's an awesome community, best in crypto bar none. Also, there's some affiliate links down there that really help the channel out. If you guys can use them, that's awesome. If not, that's okay too. Let's get into the charts and see what the hell's going on. Alright guys, as always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market only. Anybody that's doing any trading or investing in this market, I suggest you do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market is extremely volatile and risky. Also, keep in mind, it's still a speculative market. Don't put in more than you're willing to lose. With that being said, if you're new here or you haven't already, definitely hit the subscribe button in the lower right-hand side of the screen. That will get you subscribed to the channel. I do daily updates every day to try to keep people in tune to what's going on. So if you take the notification bell, that'll get you notified when I post new videos so you don't miss out on anything. Also, guys, smash the likes. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think, good or bad, doesn't matter. I like to read your guys' opinions, so let's get into it. Looking at Litecoin on the weekly, we've been looking at this. If we look at this low here in the RSI, this low here in the price action, we're making higher lows in the price action, lower lows in the RSI. That is hidden bullish divergence in the weekly. Doesn't mean we shoot up today, guys. This is a more macro view of the market. So let's look at the daily and see what's going on with the daily. All right. So if we look at, let's look at the price action first. I'll show you my targets. I'm going to show you the macro targets, guys, because obviously you guys know I don't day trade, I swing trade, and I don't care about the smaller moves. This is a neckline of $146 range. I'm still looking at this as a cup and a handle here, and this being the handle forming. Did go a little bit lower. It could go lower. It doesn't matter. It still looks to be a cup and a handle forming here. And the measured move of the break of the neckline around 146 would bring us up to the $270 range. I still believe wholeheartedly that that is what we're looking at here in the near future, you know, by the end of the year, definitely. Let's look at the RSI. All right, so on the RSI, we'd been following this rising channel. We fell out of it in a falling channel, and we've been watching this as a falling or descending broadening wedge. If we zoom in a little bit, this could be, let's see, forming, put this here. We could bounce around in here for a little bit before popping back out of the wedge and then testing the top of this, testing the top of the falling channel. Now let's look at the 4-hour RSI. You can see I have a falling channel drawn in here. We've had 3 touches on the bottom. Possible we could come back down for one more touch on the bottom, which is the bearish case scenario that we'll be looking at. Or, you know, we continue on up to come test the top of this channel. So let's look at the price action and see what that's telling us. We'll take a look at the bearish case first and then the bullish case. All right, so bearish case scenario. We had these targets in here yesterday. I did this yesterday morning. If we drop below this blue line, then my next target was the 76, and if that dropped, if that didn't hold, then we were going down to the 66. I'm actually going to move that back where I had it. This dropped a lot quicker than I expected, so I'm still going to put this down to around the $62-63 range for our absolute bottom, in my opinion. Now if that breaks, guys, you know, it's real ugly for crypto. I don't believe that's going to happen. I'm I'm not even sure that we get down to this point, but this is my worst case scenario. You can check back for months. We've been talking about it, and I've had that target in there as the worst case. And that is old resistance back here in March, and bring that across, which would become new support. Also lines up with our long-term trend line, guys. So that, like I said, that's worst case scenario. I do have higher measured moves here to see how this is. Sorry about that. And my higher measured move is looking at this as a falling broadening wedge right here. And the measured move of where it may break out would be in this area. If we were to break out of it around the $95 range, obviously we'd be going up to the 100 to test our resistance. We break through, looking at a target of around between 165 and 170, somewhere in that range. It all depends on where we break this line, if we break that line. But I do see it being a very good possibility. But yeah, where we're at right now, we're trying to get back up, and this $76 range I believe is going to be resistance. We'll see how that reacts. If we do come back up, we'll probably be coming to test the $83 to $84 range again, which would be the bottom of this blue. Let me back it up so you can see, would be the bottom of this blue trend line here. If we get rejection there, we may be headed back down to test the long-term trend line to the $67, $68 range, depending on how it all plays out. If we go down straight from here, it would be worst case scenario $62. So that's where I'm at with Litecoin. Let's move on to Bitcoin. Same thing. Look at the low in the RSI here, the low here, and the low up in the price action. We're getting higher lows in the price action, lower lows in the RSI, and what seems to be forming here is a falling wedge. And what do falling wedge patterns do? They break up. We could have more downward momentum. Let me move this trend line. It's actually touching now, or close to it, so we could have a little bit further down to go according to this in the weekly. So let's but again, this is macro, guys. I do want to point out my longer term target, I guess. If you guys zoom out, you wouldn't be so fearful as what's going on right now. Everybody's stuck in the 4-hour, 1-hour, 15-minute charts and stuff. If you're day trading, I guess more power to you, but I just don't see a point in day trading. The investors and the long-term holders and investors are the ones that are making money here. So anyways, and the swing traders, I like to swing trade. Longer trades, I could be in a trade anywhere from, few days to a few weeks or months even. But anyways, looking at this as the flagpole, taking it up, if we were to break out next week, my target would be 21,000, somewhere in that range, which would be breaking the old all-time high. I do want to point out, doesn't mean we go straight up. I'm not saying if we break out next week, we go straight up there next week. I do have some more midterm targets, and we're going to take a look at that in a second. But obviously, we would have resistance on the way up. It could be, November before we see the 21,000. But anyways, let's look at the daily now. Take a look at the more immediate price action, more midterm. I do want to take a look at the RSI. What I had been watching here, and it didn't play out like I thought, but it still doesn't look that bad, guys, in my opinion. I was looking at this as inverted head and shoulders here, another one here, another one here, and I believed that this one was going to break that way back up to this trend line, but it did not, obviously. Bearish case, we could come back down, test this one more time before coming up to this trend line. This could be it, guys. That is put this trend line. There's a bottom trend line right here. And we did get a bounce off of that. So let's look at the price action now and see what that's telling us in the daily. Now, my longer term targets in the daily still remain the same, guys. They may move a little bit, being that these are descending here. but I still see this as a big bull flag from this big move. Let's take a look at the bearish case, and then we'll take a look at the bullish case. I did have this target at 97.22 yesterday, because I'll show you, I didn't think we were going to fall that fast. So let's move this down here a little bit. Point is though that this trend line right here, this thick white trend line I have drawn, I do believe is gonna hold. If it doesn't, then I would go down to, you can see there's 3 wicks here. I've drawn this line. We've had this line here since way back in March or April. I think I put that line in there, but that's the absolute worst case scenario I see, the 8,500. And if we were to drop below that, guys, you know, we could come back down to test the bottom of this bull flag, and that could be around the $7,000 range, but I don't see that happening. If it did, I would start to be more worried about the market. But we do still have the 200 EMA on the daily at around 8,000. So, and if we stuck around this area for a little bit and then had a drop through, that's where I see that 8,500 as being worst case scenario, which would also line up with this trend line. Now, let's look at my higher targets here. And the first one being the measured move of this as a falling channel. And depending on where we would break out, guys, if we broke out within the next week or so, let me zoom in a little bit here, see where we're at. But yeah, if we were to break out in the next week or so, my target there is around the $16,000 range. I still stick by that, guys. It all depends on where we break out of this bull flag, which I do believe is bull flag. The other measured move is measuring this as a flagpole, this being the bull flag. There is another way to look at it, and people are starting to look at it as, you know, a triangle right here. Do I think that's possible? It is possible. Actually, they're drawing it like this, but that would still be the measured move off of measuring that as a flagpole. And my measured move off that, guys, depending on where we break out again, but is around the $18,000 range. And we already took a look at the $21,000 target, and that was off of the weekly, measuring this as a bull flag, this whole thing as a flagpole. All right, let's look at the 4-hour RSI. See what's going on there. All right, 4-hour RSI. I redrew this channel from these peaks here. Looks like we could be coming up to test the top of this channel again. If that's the case and we get rejected, we may come down a little bit. Like I said, would be bearish case scenario. Let's look at the price action. And we'll take a look at the bearish case first, and then we'll take a look at the bullish case. All right, so I had a measured move here yesterday of 10.5, which we did get some support there, and then before breaking through, I had my low target. I actually had it up here at the 90, I think it was 96 where I had it yesterday. But I do believe if this trend line holds, you know, the next target, if we get rejection at this, right in this area, which would be around the 10.5, and if we look at the daily, that would be around the 55 EMA here is right around the 10,400. So I would look for some resistance there, see what happens. We may bounce around this area for a little bit before making a decision. Go back to the 4-hour. But yeah, I'm looking for this long-term trend line to hold here. I do believe that was confirmation of the bull run right here, where this line broke, which was around the $6,500 range, which was old resistance before we broke down and capitulated. All right, so let's look at where we're at. And the same thing, 8,500 is my worst case scenario, guys, but I do think this bull flag is going to pop up, and I'm going to take a look at the daily. We're going to take a look at the volume. If we look at the volume here, let me get this off this dotted line. If we look at the volume here, it's still declining, which tells us that we are in a formation that is ready to break, and I do believe it's most likely going to break up out of this bull flag. But like I said, as long as we're in this bull flag, guys, I'm not worried one bit. But if we drop through the bottom of it, that's what would make me be bearish. But until then, I'm macro bullish as can be. And I still believe we'll hit 46,000 by the end of the year. And I am going to go into that now and show you. Bitcoin daily, 46,000, end of the year target. And I'll show you why in a minute. But take a good look at this pattern. I do believe a pattern is a pattern. As you can see, I have these trend lines drawn off of both the two top peaks here from our all-time high of the white dotted line. Second peak here, I have the yellow line across. This is the long-term trend line on the bottom. We had 2 touches before breaking through to our upside. Also have this blue line drawn in here, which is old support in the bear market before we capitulated. Also have the white line here, which is old support off of these 3 drops here. We've actually had about, I think it's 5 or 6 touches. I don't want to zoom in right now to show you, but as you can see, we've been playing with this trend line for quite some while, just bouncing back and forth on it. Now I'm going to switch over to the gold chart. I also have this trend line up top here from each peak, which I believe is going to be significant also. But if you take a good look at what's going on here, we just, dropped below the 55 EMA on the daily. I do believe it's probably going to give us some resistance, but I think it's a good possibility we will pop up above it again. I'm going to go over to the gold weekly chart and show you the resemblance. I believe a pattern is a pattern, guys. This is playing out a lot faster. Gold is over 30 years or something like that. This is over a matter of a couple years. But you got to remember, Bitcoin's a lot smaller market cap, a lot easier to move. And we have social media and the internet now. Think times are a lot faster, which would make this pattern play out a lot faster. Also, keep in mind, people talk about it, but it's gold on the weekly, Bitcoin on the daily. A pattern is a pattern. If you look at a triangle in a 5-minute pattern and a triangle in a 3-day pattern, they react the same. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna click back and forth so you can see. Keep an eye on the 46,000 end of the year target also. But if you look at the resemblance, it's absolutely amazing, guys. And I'm going to point out same stuff I pointed out in the Bitcoin daily chart on the gold weekly. I have the same white dotted trend line on the first peak, second peak yellow. 2 touches on the bottom before breaking through the blue trend line, which was old support in the bear market, where we broke through here. Did the same thing, broke through here on Bitcoin. I have the white old support drawn from bear market, and just like in here, like I said, we played around with that for quite a while. Same here. And guys, the pattern, every candle for candle isn't going to play out, but it's a matter of the pattern looking the same and reacting the same. And like you can see, same thing, we played around this white line. Once we broke through this yellow line up here, this trend line, came back down and tested it before moving up right around to this area. And these aren't going to be exact, guys. It's just to give us an idea. But that's why I believe we'll hit 46,000 by the end of the year, guys. I'm still looking for that target. That would get us somewhere around in December, right towards the end of the year, which makes a lot of sense. And the next thing I wanted to look at was gold, and then we'll come back and look at the RSI on the. I want to remind you guys, we've been watching this since January. Right here, that has been helping us make all these calls all the way up. Still believe it's, just a beautiful thing. And also you can see in here, declining volume while in the formation. Let's look at gold real quick, and I'll show you why I believe that we could be showing a recession coming. I know it disagrees with a lot of what other guys are saying about it, but this is my opinion and my view and my theory. We've had this long-term rising channel. We've been in this channel since 2015. We've broken out of this channel. And I had said yesterday on the video, if we opened and closed a candle above this trend line here, weekly, I believe a daily will be good enough. We have opened this daily yesterday above this trend line. If we close it above this trend line, I would say that's verification that we're going to continue above it. Not to say we don't come down and test it one more time, but I do believe that's a sign of a recession. I do believe big money is pulling out, smart money is pulling out of the market and coming into here. Not to say they're not going to do a fake rally in the market again, which they probably will to get people to pump more money in so they can keep dumping without making the market go down quicker than they want it to. But that's where I'm at with that. This also, if we do a measured move off of the break of this channel, gold, my target for that, for the break of the channel, is 1837. Now we could also look at this. Let me draw a trend line in there, and then we're going to go back to the Bitcoin chart and look at something else. But if we look at this as a triangle here and a break of the triangle, it would be still the same measured move as over here, but that gets me to I had that wrong. I don't know what I did there, but anyway, I'll move it. So that gets me to around the 1675 range, guys. That's where my next target for gold would be. Anyways, now let's go back to, let's go to the RSI. Again, we've been watching this since January, which was way down in here. So I have these two trend lines drawn. This is the 2013 bull market, and this is the RSI on the weekly. 2013 bull market followed by the bear market. 2 touches of resistance on this trend line before starting the bull run. Same over here. 2017 bull market followed by the bear market. 2 touches of resistance before starting the bull market. We've also been comparing these two areas right here in the RSI. As you can see, the resemblance, I do believe we're most likely going to continue up, and you know, we could start a 2-3 year bull run here, guys. Let's keep an eye on it, see what happens. But I'm going to take a look at the monthly also, and look at the monthly RSI. All right, so in the monthly, I have these two arcs drawn in here. This is the 2013 bull run, 2017 bull run. 2013 followed by the bear market, each arrow representing a new low in the RSI. We had 4 of them before starting the bull market. Same here, 2017 bull market followed by the bear market, each arrow representing a new low in the RSI before starting the bull market. Yeah, only thing is here, guys, this may be a lot quicker, but I do, like I said, I do believe we're going much, much, much higher. My end of the year's target still remains at 46,000. If you guys liked the video, enjoyed the video, definitely subscribe by hitting the Crypto Savvy logo above my head. Click the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Smash the likes, leave your comments. Let me know what you think. I may do a live stream tonight. I may not. Keep your notification bells on and you'll see. So take it easy. Thanks for stopping in. I really appreciate all your guys' support. Have a great day. I'm out.